have internal issues, and so like I just think that we were able to come together as a class around WCW and really put on a great event. And when we left here, it was amazing. We did that. It was in like an early June, and I think you were gone like the next 2 days later.
2 days later.
It was, and so it was like kind of our last hurrah, and we drew like 7,000 people or something at the Convo, and so I thought that was a great team effort, and I don't think I'll ever forget that.
I actually have mine. Ours was our first night here, or mine's our first night here. 25 of us? Is that how many were in our class? 25? Yeah. 25 people showed up in Athens one day and all decided to go out that night, and they were going to spend the next year together or whatever. It was just, when I think back to that night, it's pretty funny to think about the first time you met Andy, or the first time I met Shelley, or how that night progressed. But it was one of the few times all 25 of us were in the same place, the whole night, trying to get to know each other. And it's really amazing when you think back about it.
It's like a little like the real world. In a sense. But I mean, because we only spent 9 months here, and then you're gone, and so it's like you're forced together, and you kind of like figure out who the relationships are, and like it's a little bit like that.
Yeah, I really can't pinpoint one particular thing. I mean, all the memories were just great. I think they continue to grow anytime I spend time with my classmates. I mean, or fellow alumni. It just creates another memory. Andy and I became really good friends. I just remember the first time like we hung out or really got to know each other. It's I just remember the first time like Ward said I met everybody. I met Shelley before school even started at some Bobcat tailgate thing and Caravan in Lancaster.
Yeah,
I had to go and I met the AD and the assistant athletic director. I worked as a graduate assistant in the athletic department, and I was basically the tent boy.
Yeah. Really good
I
attitude.
hauled tents basically to Peden Stadium, to Dr. Kreutzer's house, to Tom Bay's house, the former athletic director. And
You were the GA. Tell him he was the facilities GA though. So
yeah, I mean I was the GA, but
you didn't
there's just good memories of
you didn't sign in for that.
putting that up and taking it down, and the parties we had, whether it be Halloween or whether we're drinking beer over at Ward's house. I mean, there was just so many memories that I can't. It was like Andy said, it was 9 months, but it was just a great 9 months. I probably remember more of the social stuff than I do the academic stuff, and that was nothing to do with my instructors, but that's just my honest opinion.
I remember my instructors so well. That's what it was.
I have a job.
Mine was a trip to North Carolina, and that was, God, what a special trip. And I'm not sure if Kevin White was actually the AD at Duke at that time, but we sat second row on the court behind the basket.
And they broke the basket.
And they broke the basket. Duke, Wake Forest. I mean, does it get any better than that? And then the next day we went over to North Carolina State and did a tour there, and then saw North Carolina play. So I mean, it was one of those real special experiences that you'll never have again. So that was probably my number one, and it's a great part of this program.
Mine is a little more simple. Ward, his accent has actually gotten better, I think,
I agree.
or less, or something.
not
I
nearly
don't know,
as
better,
bad as
but
It's
less.
much better.
When he first got here, like he said, he never been out of the South, I think, a lot. So it was very thick. And he was very proud of going to Arkansas. And one night early on, at a party function, he decided we all needed to learn the Sioux pig cheer. And he was going to teach us that. So it's very, if you would do it, it's a very distinct cheer. I don't know if anyone here has gone to Arkansas.
What you guys
That's my competitor. I can't. Come on. I can't cheer.
Oh, that's right.
We can't cheer for
I
them
can't.
That's right.
anymore,
You're right.
I'm bound not to.
but yeah.
I really can't.
Let's go.
We all had to learn.
It was the most important moment.
It was a very special moment. If you could bring that back for me.
So gotta go. Pig City! Woo! Pig City! Woo! Pig Suey! Razorbacks. That's all I
So Ward had us all learn that cheer, and we apparently didn't have the accent right or the suey or however it went, and so I just remember that stood out in my mind as a very fond memory of thinking back.
It's a
and-
shame, that's what you remember.
I will tell another one that's about Doc K. One of my favorite memories is, and I don't know if we were all in this class or not, but you guys have a beautiful facility, first of all, and this is great, and you're all spoiled and all that.
insane.
But
It's
we were in
ridiculous.
Artex
It's ridiculous.
at the top of the hill because Grover.
Purgatory.
Yeah, it was,
Yes.
you needed to walk the hill, then you had to walk 2 flights, and then there was no air conditioning, and it was horrible. But Jarrod, it was horrible. I mean, it was a bad facility. But Jarrod and I were GAs in the athletic department, so we were working, the 40, 50 hours a week in the athletic department and going to class, and so we'd run up the hill, to class or whatever, and a lot of times we were late or tired or whatnot. We get in class, and you're sitting there, and it'd be like Doc K would send one of our other classmates down and be like, he's running a little late, he'll be here soon.
Smile.
I mean, I can remember one class, it was like 45 minutes, we're all sitting there like, screw it, we're leaving. And then I think Doc K actually got mad at us because we left class on that day, but
Hey Doc, I'm still waiting for that final paper back.
I got it. I was going to give it back to you, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
very nice, very nice. So that was my fond memories too, is like running up that hill and up 2 flights of steps to sit in a class to where Doc K didn't make it, so
That's right.
he was inactive at that time, I don't know.
Mike and I will be at the bus tire removal factory this afternoon. So thank you very much. That's great. Well, I probably have some time for a few questions here.